When 12-year-old Cassius Clay had his bike stolen in Louisville, Kentucky, he took up the sweet science so he could whoop whoever stole it. Soon, Clay became an outstanding amateur fighter and picked up a gold medal at the Olympic Games in Rome in 1960. He returned home to Louisville, wearing his gold medal proudly around his neck. But the pride faded when he was refused service in a whites-only restaurant. The incident caused him to throw his medal into the Ohio River. On February 25, 1964, the 22-year-old fighter took on heavily favored champ Sonny Liston. Clay predicted victory over the Big Ugly Bear to anyone who would listen. He beat Liston in the 8th round to become the heavyweight champion. After the fight, Clay jumped around the ring, proclaiming he shook up the world. Shortly after the fight, he announced his membership in the Nation of Islam. A week later, the Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad gave Clay the new name, Muhammad Ali. The champ embraced the name change. Many people in press, including the New York Times, refused to refer to him by his new name. In 1966, Ali refused to serve in Vietnam, asserting his conscientious objector status. In 1967, he was found guilty of refusing induction into the armed forces. He appealed, but the damage was done. He was stripped of his belt and banned from boxing for 3.5 years. Ali returned to the ring in 1971, taking on Joe Frazier in a title fight dubbed the Fight of the Century. Frazier beat Ali in the first of 3 savage battles the men would engage in. After winning the belt back from Frazier in a rematch, he would lose it to Ken Norton and receive a broken jaw in the process. Ali was getting on in years, but his most impressive fight was still to come. In October of 1974, in Zaire, Ali took on the seemingly invincible champ George Foreman.
Well, Ali knew that you couldn't really dodge Foreman, but what he knew that Foreman could tire easily. So he had what was called the rope-a-dope, where he would break the golden rule of boxing, where he would get to the ropes of the ring, and he would kind of brace himself on the ropes of the ring and allow himself just to be pummeled by Foreman. Ali was intentionally just trying to tire Foreman out, because every time Foreman hit, Foreman would lose his mojo, and he hit him again and lose it again, to the point where Foreman literally had trouble keeping up his arms. And now Ali, who withstood all those blows, was able to pound Foreman right in the head and knocked him out.
The Rumble in the Jungle was one of the greatest upsets in the history of boxing. In 1978, in a major upset, he lost the title to underdog Leon Spinks. Ali returned 7 months later to beat Spinks and reclaim the belt, but the end of his career was near. On June 27, 1979, Ali announced his retirement. Yet like many great fighters, he stepped back into the ring, not one, but two too many times, officially retiring in 1981 with a record of 56-5. In 1984, Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which affected his speech and began ravaging his central nervous system. Despite his illness, he carried the Olympic torch at the 1996 Games in Atlanta. Ali used his unparalleled stature to bring aid to places such as North Korea, Afghanistan, and Cuba, and earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2005.
Ali was not only a revolutionary fighter, he's a revolutionary political figure in American history.